Hi all. This on this occasion, we shall be looking at the last part of this course. That is, we want to talk about a detailed walkthrough of all that we have learned so far by analyzing a particular data set from an organization. Um, I have a data set with me titled Finance. So we just want to look into that document, into the data, and see what insights that we can get from it based on the little stuff that we have done. So let's get into it. I open a new Python notebook. I'm going to title this Data Analysis Walkthrough. So we shall be looking at finance data. The first thing I'm going to do is to explain the steps to us. In data analysis, there must be a question before you get into the data. There must be a question to be solved. Perhaps the question to be solved implies you getting more data or getting questionnaires or one thing or the other. But the first step in data analysis is that there must be a question to be solved. So, step one, I will be defining the steps one over the other here. Step one, define the question. So I'm making this a markdown. Let's have it a bit bigger. Yeah, this is the first step. Let's define, we need to define what the questions are. Now, in defining the question, there are times you need some other tools to be able to define what you want to do. So this relates to the company's prerogative and objectives. Let me make this a markdown. And objectives. So we need to define this. We need to establish the data analysis objective. In order to be able to do this, some skills in business is required. Lateral thinking will be required. The requirements here include business thinking, or knowledge, business knowledge. Let's use business knowledge. Lateral thinking, and related soft skills. These are required to make things happen. Now, as you think about those ones, there is need to understand the business metrics and key performance indicators. So the major focus should be on the key performance indicators. That is KPI. And what again? Business metrics. So to be able to understand what we are saying. The question could be, are we making profits? Is this company profitable? Are we not spending too much on expense? These are answers, these are questions you can find answers to by doing some analysis. Now go to the next step, step 2. Step 2 has to do with, this is step 2. Collect the data. You collect the data. Now, in data collection, you have a choice of either using the first-party data from the company, directly from the company or the customers, or you use the second-party data for other organizations, or use the third-party data. So, it depends on the situation. So I will put this one here, the data from the following. One is first party source. But even if this refers to data that is directly owned or owned by self or company. Work for. Work for. So remember, if you don't have data, you can do little. This could include data from the company CRM system. So that is one. Now the second one. The second one is the second party source. This refers to data that belongs to another organization, possibly in the same industry. In the same industry or industry of reference. Or industry of reference. The third one is third-party data, third-party source. The case of third-party is that the data has been collected, aggregated from numerous sources by third-party organizations. So this refers to data collected from numerous sources by third-party organizations. So that is the data. Now, in our case, we have a data set already. So what we want to do now is to bring in our data set. At the top here, let me bring in, I forgot to bring, okay, I can put it here. I want to import our packages, import pandas, you are familiar with this, I believe. PD, import matplotlib .pyplot as plt, import numpy as np. So run that. Now let's get our data. Let's our data be df equal to, the data is in I think it's in Excel format. So I'm calling PD to get the data from me. Read.xl Excel. So the file name is finance.xlss. Now we have the data in. Now we need to see the data, look at it, and be sure it's good, it's fit for purpose. Okay. So what that means is that the data need to be viewed. So we need to view it. After viewing it, then we can take the next step on it. So we are on the data that is to be analyzed. So df, by now I want to believe this is understood now. Let me put some comment here. Because of people that did not start from the beginning, loading the data set. Then here, importing the required libraries. Okay. Now the next step is checking the data. Now, if I call df, it gives me the data. But I'm not interested in all the data. I just need maybe the first 5 records or the first 7 records. So I'll do 8. 7. Just to check if there is any catchy things that could be of interest. Okay. Now I check the last records. Checking the last 7 records. That becomes df.head 7. So that will be tail now, because this is the last 7. The first 7 is head. This is tail. This gives us this. Okay. So I think we are good. Now we have some information about the data. Then we still need to look deeper than this. We are trying to collect information about the available data. So, how many records, how many columns? So to check the number of records and variables, I'll do df.shape. There are 700 records and 16 columns. So this shows 700 rows and 16 columns of variables. So we've done that. Now we've checked the rows to just look at it to see what works. For you to see what's on that side, you have to view that way. Alternatively, we can reduce this to the first. We can turn this record so that we can see all. Just place a T in front here, dot T. For example, I want to place a cell after this one. I'll insert. That's it here. So I want to see this same records, but I want to change column to row. So what I will do is I will do df.tail. When you have given me, change row to column, turn it around. Yes. So this makes us to see everything. Makes us to see all the columns. These are the columns here. Okay, so now the next thing is we need to know the kind of data that we have here. That is the next step. So to check the data types, we have df data types. That gives us area around it. So the first thing, load your data. After loading your data, cite some data just to be sure you're good. After that, you get into it to see how many columns, how many rows, what are the data, what is the data types, and the rest. So the next thing to do is to now check what kind of data do we have and how do we work around the data that we have to make the best use of the whole thing. Okay, I hope it's understood up to this level, because as we go further now, we are going into something much more tricky, and there are areas that are not too clear at this point in time. Is going further will be challenging. So if we are in doubt, we can watch the videos over and over again. That helps us to that puts us on the right path also. So we can decide to do that depending on what you want to accomplish. Now, when that is done, the next thing to do before we start analyzing the data is to check the data types and all those kind of things, just to be sure you are okay, the whole stuff is fine. Otherwise, it will be challenging. then get the data summary so that you can find out the kind of data that you have, what is embedded in it, and the like. You need the standard deviation so that you know when something's changed. You need to understand the distributions, whether something is normally distributed or not. You just need to know what to do. So that is what we are trying to do here. Now the next thing to be done, is to check the data. We can see the number of columns, the number of rows, and there seems to be no missing value. Okay, let's check the missing values, or we can check information. That's another way. Info gives you your data types. Okay, we have segment, which is an object, it's not data. So object, anything object is categorical. So we have this, then we have integer here, manufacturing price, we have another integer here, sales price, and we have float, sales gross, and the rest. So that's fine. Now the next thing is to now do check the summary statistics about the data by calling the data using describe. This gives you the summary of the whole data. Let's turn it around. Yeah, this gives you a summary. Units sold, the count is 700. The average unit is 1,608. The standard deviation is 867, which is very high. Minimum value is 200. And the minimum value of the unit sold is 200, and 25%, that means the lower 25% of the whole thing. I mean 25% of the entire sales is below 905. 50% of the entire sale is below 1,542. So if the average is this, and 50% is less than this, and 75% is less than this value, while the maximum value sold is this. In terms of prices, the maximum price is 260. The minimum price, where is it? The minimum price is 3. And this is the 25%. So for each line, the system gives you statistics about what works in those areas. So you can write some reports about what you have seen here also before moving to the next part. Now, as we have done this now, we are as good as done studying the data to an extent. So now we have understood the data. Now the next thing we want to do is to go into data cleaning. We need to first establish whether there is need for cleaning. We've taken step 1, we've taken step 2, now we want to take step 3. Step 3 is to clean data. So I'm going to copy this so that I can use the format and paste it down. Okay. Oh, this is 3. Sorry. This is data cleaning. Data cleaning. Now, in data cleaning, there are 4 major possibilities. We need to be able to establish errors, duplicates, missing values, outliers, and the like. Now, if you look at this data set, you can see that the minimum here is 3 and the maximum is 260. That shows that there is a wide gap between them. So there is likely to be some outliers on the price when there is a wide margin between the minimum and the maximum. Then there are outliers. Outliers are those values that are beyond the range. Now, if you look at this, also the sales price is 7 here, and it's 350 here. This is the wide margin also. Gross sales 1,799, and this one, there's the wide margin here also. This is 0. So there seems to be a lot of outliers. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, there is nothing much here. Month number, no. This one, no. So most of the figures seem to have some outliers. Now, as a data analyst, you need to write down what you have seen, because you are sending a report to management. Management are not technical people. They are not interested in your code. They are interested in the results. Okay, so let's make guidance on how to. The following, let me just do a notes from here. First, we noticed that unit price, units sold, outliers. The units sold, manufacturing, prices, sales price, gross sales, discounts, sales, what again? Cost of goods sold, and profit. So we notice an outlier there. I'm writing, these are the things that will go into your report. The next thing we noticed here, the standard deviation of the unit price is very high. It's almost 50% of the mean. The standard deviation of the unit sold is almost more than, not even almost, is more than 50% of the mean. This value is too high. It's too high. It's too high. Then what else can we see? We notice a loss here. Loss was noticed. Was noticed with a value 4617. 4617. This appeared as a negative figure. Okay, I think that is about all. All right, so now we go into data cleaning. The first thing we want to do is to check for in cleaning data. There are several steps to take. To ensure, the major aim is to ensure high quality data. The major aim is to ensure high quality data. As such, the following are key. Number one, remove missing unwanted remove major errors, missing values, duplicates, and outliers. So these are inevitable problems in most data sets, especially when aggregating data from several sources. So the next one, remove unwanted data points. Unwanted data points. So this implies the removal of irrelevant observations that have no bearing. No bearing on the intended analysis. Some records are not useful to your analysis because you have questions to answer. So that question is key. Next one is bring structure into the data. Into the data. So this is nothing but general housekeeping. Housekeeping. Is removing typos. Removing typos or layout issues. Issues that may negatively affect our reports. And the last part of data cleaning is filling major gaps. Listen, if your missing values are major, then you fill them in. Major gaps. This implies replacing the missing values with possible data. So this is what happened on data cleaning. Now, you can now go into it and check one or two things. In some cases, you may not need to go through all this, but at least majority of the part. So let us check for missing values. I'll call df dot is null. All this yesterday using pandas dot sum. Okay. Oh, there are no missing values here. Good. So I'll put a note here. Always make sure you have a note around your data. No missing values. Okay. Now we'll check for duplicates. df dot duplicated. Yeah, there seems to be none. Because they are all false. So there seems to be no duplicates. Now we go to the next step. We've cleaned the data, that's the assumption. Now we want to analyze the data. We want to analyze the data end to end. So data analysis, step 4. So this is step 3. Step 4. Exploratory data analysis. That's the 4th step. So that's what we want to do now. This is now what will give us answer to the problem. So we want to start analyzing now. Then after this, the last step is to share the result with the stakeholders. Now, talking about exploratory data analysis, I'll go back to the statistics. So I'm going to do df.describe. I can see again. Yeah, let me turn it around. Okay. Now we have this. We need to study units sold, study manufacturing price, study each of the variables one after the other. Then afterwards, we need to establish whether there is a relationship between them. So, if you go into the data, you will find out that we have much more than is here. What this gives us is nothing but those ones that consign the data, numerical flows, numerical variables. That's this one. All this int and float. But we still have the objects. The objects are the categorical data. So we need to consider them also. How do we consider them? So that's the next thing that we want to do. How do we consider them? How do we consider them? That is what we want to do now. Now, in order for us to do that, so we need to go into the data one after the other to see what works. Yesterday, we did something on bar charts. So today, we are going to look at something similar. Let me go to yesterday. I think it was this one. Yeah, we started with bar chart here. Define the x-axis and the y-axis. We plotted some stuff here. We plotted some stuff here. So we can do something similar here. What we can do is we can use count plots. We can use it depends on what we want to measure. So if what we want to measure has to do with count plot, we make use of count plot. Otherwise, we make use of bar charts or any of the chart that is of relevance to us. So we must not use a particular one. So we just want to analyze what we have in the data so that we can write a report about it. So so now we get cracking with that. So the first thing is each of those data, that is each of the other data, that is the categorical data, we need to plot them to see. We need to plot them. Now the first one, this one here is segments. What is segment all about? We should go here. What is segment? Oh, okay, we have different segments here. I see. So we need to know how many enterprise, how many government, how many small business. Now to do that, analysis of segments. Let me bring in another part of pandas into this. Import, we call it Seaborn. I want to give it an alias as SNS. Okay, so I'm going to use that to do my counts. SNS dot, I want to check count, I want to count what do you call it? I want to count segments. So I go into my data, and inside the data, what's my targets? What am I looking at? Segments. Just plot it for me. Oh, sorry, counts plots. This is meant to be internal segment. Oh, it's cap S. That's it. That is it. So this gives the segment. So what can we say about this? We have in the data set that we have much of. I can go into the report by writing. Let me change this to Markdown. By writing that the data set contains more of government related account. There seems to be equal number. Yes. So I'm going to use this same stuff again to do for the next one, country. Let's show the country represented in the data. So this is country. Okay. Yeah, the countries are equally distributed, which is a good one. So we note that also here. Now the next thing is to do pick on the third one, products. What is product? Product is also object. Then discount band is also object. So it's product without S. So that is to say that, okay, Pastil was sold more than any other product available. So it's almost times 2 of each of the other ones. Okay. Now the next one is, I think it's discounts bound by band. Discounts So there are 4 bands: high, medium, low, and none. So the medium is almost the same thing as high. Okay. Now the next variable there is units sold. Now this is a numerical stuff. As you can see, it's plus 64. So that means it's not categorical. We cannot use bar chart for that. So we may have to use histogram or any other thing. But bar graph is not going to work for that. You can also use box plot. Yeah, that's another tool that is good for that. Yes, we can do that, depending on what we are actually looking for. So we can plot histogram, we can plot box plot, you can plot anything that is of interest to us. It just depends on us. It depends on what is key to our finding. So SNS I need to define the bin. Oh, that is band, sorry. Where is it? Units sold. Oh. That is it. That is the histogram. As you can see, the only thing I did here is just to change the same code. I only changed this to histplot. If it is bar you want, it's bar plot. If it is count, you have count plot. Okay, so what can we say here? There seems to be bias against these values. So there was no much patronage of items costlier than 3,000, more than 3,000. Okay. So all these things I'm saying are part of the things that should be in the report. The next one is manufacturing price. So it's also a continuous stuff, so we have to use histogram. Manufacturing price. That is it. So that shows that the price ranges between 0 and maybe 25, and there is another one by 120, then 220, thereabout. Okay. Now the next thing is, this is how you consider all this line by line, all these variables, all these variables here to the end. Now summarize your result, and that ends it. This is exploratory data analysis. The last thing is to share the reports. That's the last thing we're expected to do. After cleaning, you analyze. After analyzing, you share the report. Just share the report and report mistakes. So step 5. Write your report. Findings. That ends it all. Thank you.